that's in the point column, but they mean a lot more to the game. But just really learn how to adjust and rely on each other even more. To kind of pick up that slack. When a guy like Steph is out at some, at the point where he was during the playoffs last year, with KD last game, no one person can make that up. If you could, then you would be Steph, you would be KD. So we don't expect one person to make it up. But at the end of the day, collectively, we all can make it up. And so it really taught you how to rely on and use each other more.
What do you remember about Game 3 last year? You're up 2-0. You lose Game 3 in Portland. Do you remember that? What happened there? Now Steph was out.
Yeah, I honestly don't really remember much about it, other than we lost. So we just gotta know, going home, they're going to be locked in. They'll have a great focus level. They'll be more confident. I know one thing for them is trying to get their role players, scoring role players are usually more comfortable at home. So got to take all that into account. Just make sure we're ready, out the gate. Come with the right intensity level, the right focus level that it takes, to go on the road to the playoff game.
When I see you fill up a stat sheet, I think about what is the backbreaker for this team that what part of this couldn't they not handle? What do you think teams are scouting for and not scouting for you?
I think a lot of teams are trying to take away my playmaking ability, which I think that's hard to take away with the scores, all the weapons that we have on the floor. But I've noticed, with some of the things that teams are doing, they're trying to take that away. But, it's fine. You just try to find other ways to, affect the game. Whether that's passing, rebound, defense, whatever it is. And some nights it's all of it, but just really try to find different ways to continue to, affect it. But that's the one thing I notice that everyone tries to take.
How do they
do that?
They try switching, they try pressuring me, all those things, but it is what it is.
What do you think breaks the back of the other team? Like you hit a three?
I mean, they definitely, hate that. Partly because I talk a lot after I hit a three. And then partly their game plan is to make me shoot, so when they're going in, you just catch guys looking over at the bench at their coach. It's pretty funny.
Talk more after a three?
Yeah, because they be talking. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, he with us." No, I'm not with y'all. I'm with us.
What do you think about Damian?
A base every game, or is there certain games where it's like, this is gonna bring more out of me?
There are certain games where there's a little more chatter than others, but
is it
like it was more chatter in game 1 than it was in game 2. It's fun though. I like it.
Yeah,
It's a part of competing, That's how I grew up playing. I grew up in Saginaw. You come to the park where we grew up, Vets Park at the Civitan. That's all you hear is people yapping. So it's just, I don't know, I think it does something different to the game. It does something different to you as a competitor. You got a guy just yapping at you, I think.
I know, why less game?
Because there was so much talk about it after game 1, but I knew the referees would be watching me more in game 2, so I couldn't talk as much. So I just chilled.
What did you think about Damian was saying in talk? After game 1, he said that.
Dame is a competitor.
Yeah.
When you look at his entire career, number 1, he grew up in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to where I grew up. Number 2, Dame is an underdog. If he didn't compete or had that chip on his shoulder that he has, he wouldn't be who he is. So as a competitor, you love that talk. And as a guy who, there's some guys in this league that's not really competitive. They just talented or, have some skill that has them in the league, but they're not really that competitive. They usually hate to talk, but a competitor like Dame, it's no shocker to me that he that's what's made him who he is, having that competitive spirit that he has.
Do you have any specific memory of the game that illustrates the home court advantage crowd up there? I mean, it sounds like most players think it's more of a home court advantage than most places.
Oh, they definitely have a great home crowd. I remember going back years ago. I think we went to 2 or 3 overtimes. Wes Matthews was still on the team. I think they did end up winning the game, but just the way that crowd is intense was that night was off the charts. But they always have a great crowd. Cheer them on. Those guys are more excited there. They're bombing more shots there. They play with a different confidence. So it's a tough place to play, but we went in there and won quite a few times. So just got to go in there with the right focus level and the right intensity.
Draymond, you watched
Nah.
They're down 25, and
Yeah, I followed along. I saw the score, but I didn't watch the game.
you don't find yourself watching them at all a little bit.
I watch a lot of playoff games. Period. Everybody, it's a fun time to watch, but just wasn't on the agenda last night, yesterday.
What were you craving this late in the new postseason?
Not at all. Just craving the postseason. It's a different level of basketball, one that you really can't simulate in the regular season. So, was definitely craving that and been looking forward to getting to the playoffs, but no clean slate or whatever really matters to me.
Draymond, does your approach with the postseason as opposed to the regular season? Do you think more about technicals and that kind of thing in the postseason?
Just think more about not talking to them, not necessarily not getting the technical, just not wasting my energy.
You were talking to Scott Foster last game.
Yeah, I talked.
But it was calm, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't like arguing. It was just a couple questions here. Not wasting energy anymore.
He was pretty patient with me.
Yeah, he was cool.
What's Portland rank in terms of the talking? They talk more, less than a typical team?
They don't talk that much. I mean, E.T. talks. Damian will talk if you talk to him. CJ will talk. Mo Harkless will talk. But they're not just like, a team where you go into the game and you're like, all right, this is what they're doing.
They're not instigators, right?
No, they're not.
Draymond, do you ever go, wait a minute, I got it into a guy, talking to him, and maybe he's playing better because of it? Or is that just part of it?
No, I never worried about whether it's going to make a guy play better or not. You want to compete with guys at their best anyway, at their highest level. So you're not running away from making someone harder.
Makes you play better.
It
right?
definitely does, So I never really care if it makes a guy play better or, then that just makes me compete even harder.
Do you ever say the first word, or is it always someone's name?
Thanks, Draymond.